Hello everyone, my name is Wenjin Wei. So today is my group presentation. My group will introduce the topic Internet Addiction. These are my group members, Rashid, Emily, and Hao Wang. Our presentation including political, economic, social, environment, and legend aspect. I will invite Emily to talk about why we focus on the Internet Addiction.
So in conducting our presentation, we managed to draw up some aims and objectives we want to achieve at the end of the whole research task. So one of the aims and objectives is understanding what internet addiction is, analyze what impact internet addiction has on individuals and the larger society. We also want to look at the arguments why internet addiction isn't an addiction, internet is an addiction, and finally come to a rational conclusion.
So in terms of our research message, we want to be reading some professional articles. We also want to analyze some data to get a better understanding of internet addiction and to have some facts to back up our points. We want to use the pestle analysis to understand the political impact, environmental and legal. And we also want to look at some case studies as well.
How to define the Internet addiction? Internet addiction is a disease, like a medical illness, due to a long time using the Internet, having a strong dependency on the network. So that it cannot be self-liberation. Even a long time on Internet will have a big effect on human health and social and learning. The user cannot create the virtual and the relative, especially a cure. Now look at this picture. This chart shows the change in the number of the internet users from the 2006 to 2015. At the 2006, about only 18% people can use the internet because this time the computer is very expensive and not everyone can buy the computer. But with the technology development, the computer is more cheaper than in the past. So everyone can buy the computer. So in the 2050s, about the number of the internet users reached the 3.2 billion, about accounting for 43% people of the world total. In 1999, Dr. Yang divided the internet addiction into 5 types. Why the 5 types? Because the cyber can divide the 2 types, cyber sex and online relationship. So the first type is information overload. What is information overload? That some people can can't control themselves to search the information, such as hacking some company's database and get some information from the database. The next is the net compulsion. Net compulsion will involve some economic, such as online gambling, online shopping, and trading. Some people can't control themselves to buy something because they don't care how much money they have. They only want to buy something they like. The cyber will divide the cyber sex and online relationship. Cyber sex is like the adult website. And some people were very crazy about the adult website. Except for children, because the children will get the new things, so it's not good things. The online relationship, some people can only make friends on the online, so they have no friend in the real world, so it's not a good thing, because it's a big problem for our social relationship. The computer is a very commonly addiction, because this will involve some computer games. Computer games, every children like to play the computer games, but spend too much time on computer game is not a good thing, and it is harmful for our health and bodies.
So the term internet means a lot of different things to different people. To some people, it's communication. For example, it gives them the ability to send emails, use social media to stay in touch with friends. With some people, it's an information hub where there's literally billions and billions of pages of information that you can view. To other people, it's business. Now, 80% of all businesses are now started online. And I think it's really important not to cocoon the word internet into one thing, because it means different things to many different people. Internet is a fast growing technology. It is growing at a very fast rate. And to imagine how internet was 15 years ago to now, it's really grown far. And I think it's really important to understand the different facets of internet. So, with any addiction, I think it's really important to understand some of the root causes as to why a person gets addicted. So I think one of them, it's really important to view internet as a food or as a drug, where people want to seek a high or a release of endorphins, and that's what internet is for some people. Also, I think people who have addictions like drugs or alcohol naturally have an addictive personality, and I think it makes them more susceptible to internet addiction. And I think finally, and a lot of people struggle with communication in a social aspect, and because of this, they spend a lot of time on chat rooms, speaking to people, and I think because of this, they have a lack of confidence. And I think because of that lack of confidence and the ability to communicate with people, I think that's another cause as to why internet addiction happens.
Okay, the next part about what reasons increase in internet usage. The first reason is with the development of technology and information, internet is more and more popular. The most people have mobile phone and the computer. It is easier to use social media and get internet information. That make people more chance to use internet. The second one is internet is a good content way for people to communicate. Internet information is so vast. We can get all kind of news online. It is a good way to find a like-minded friend and share idea on the internet. It is cause damage to depend on internet to make new friends. The third one is internet has a property of disinhibition. People can hide the real size on the internet, whether people's appearance. They can get a product of other. So they use internet life to instead of related societies. The last reason is about redundancy. People can get unload surprise, such as some people addicted online gambling. They want to try feeling of victory. This will make them still use internet for the purpose.
So internet has really changed the political landscape and how political campaigns are now done. Internet has allowed it to become a lot faster, because now if there's a campaign event going on, it's people now have the ability to instantly stream it, so it's very fast. Also, it's very versatile. Instead of sending out leaflets or letters or going door to door, you can now simply just send an Instagram feed which can reach millions within seconds, or a Facebook post, or a simple 15-second YouTube video. Also, it's very portable now. because people now carry smartphones with them so they can look at political campaigns on the go. Also, the economical factors, because of things like online gambling, trading online, and shopping, consumer debt is at an all-time high. It's about 200 billion, and those addictions, I think, are the root cause as to why consumer debt is so high. The Gambling Commission chairperson is actually concerned about the increasing in gambling debts. So some of the social impacts, there's a lot of individuals now in today's society who have an inability to communicate with other people. And because of this, because they don't have that interaction, they develop personality disorders, which can lead to identity crisis of not knowing who you are. And I think because of this, addicts really struggle to maintain a healthy social life. So in terms of how internet has impacted technology, the internet economy now is growing at a very fast rate. Look at Apple, Google, Facebook. If you look at where internet was 15 years ago compared to where it is now, the opportunity now of expansion is endless. In terms of the legal aspects of how internet has affected crimes such as identity fraud and online theft are really on the up. And the police commissioner last year in an interview said that unless we increase the resources in our police force, it's becoming an incredibly difficult to monitor these crimes, because the technology and internet is changing every single day. And then lastly, the environmental factors. So according to Psych Central, the earlier a person uses the internet, the more susceptible they are to internet addiction. So I think it's really crucial that parents monitor what their children are using internet for, what they're viewing, and also at what age they start using the internet.
If you're suffering from internet addiction disorder, you're likely to have an effect on your personal life, education, work life, and finance. Here are some signs and symptoms that are related to the internet addiction disorder. Signs. In terms of signs, anxiety is one sign of internet addiction. Anxiety is caused when someone spends time off the internet, and because they spend so much time on the internet, when they're offline, they feel as if they're out of their comfort zone. And in terms of loneliness is caused when someone spends a lot of time by themselves, and because of this, they lack social interaction with people. And as a result, they may find it difficult to make certain connections. Because of such signs, a range of symptoms are likely to arise which will affect the individual's personal health in terms of poor nutrition, neck, back pain, and weight loss or weight gain. However, within this type of addiction, there's also possible treatments that are likely to treat the person or to lessen the amount they're addicted by. In terms of the treatment, you can either discuss the problem with your group of family members to discuss how you could better yourself and how you could reduce the amount of time you spend on the internet. And in terms of supervised internal no access to internet, it involves being supervised when using the internet so that it reduces the amount of time you spend on the internet and what you normally use the internet for.
Okay, let's move to any other sides. As mentioned before, internet addiction has brought some disadvantage for people. Then I want to argue these parts. Internet addiction can make people easier to success. If one person is internet addiction, he has to spend more time to research internet. It can help them develop in this area because they are interested in internet. As Chinese proverb say, internet is the best teacher to help people get success. For example, Newton is interesting scientific research, and he was willing to spend his time to scientific research. Actually, he becomes a scientific. Secondly, many people have a wrong idea, which is to spend more time on internet is internet addiction, but I don't think so. For example, network engineer and the inventor of game also pay more attention on the work in the internet, but they are not internet addiction.
So, with any presentation, I think it's really important to always look at both sides of the argument. So, is internet addiction really a disorder? So, according to the Mental Health Association, it isn't actually an addiction. Reason being is because internet is seen as a technology to support other addictions, such as gambling addiction, which is in the mental health book, and online shopping, and cyber sex. So I think internet really acts as a reinforcement to help escalate other addictions. Because when it comes to gambling, you're able to make a bet. Literally within seconds, you can put down a bet by using your phone. And in terms of shopping, it's a really easy thing to do. You can go to a website and use your credit card or your bank account to purchase things. And I think internet, it just acts as a medium where you can escalate preconceived addictions at a faster rate. So I think internet, if you look at internet as a whole, there's over 1 billion people who use Facebook, more than 330 million active Twitter users per month. Internet is really a medium that connects us to the world. And not only that, internet can be used as education. You can now do online courses, you can do degrees online, and I think, yes, the internet usage is increasing year by year, but that's merely because more people have access to it. And also for the economy, the internet has been an absolute revelation for the economy, because 1.2 million jobs alone in the US were created in the past decade. So internet the usage is high, but a lot of people use that in their daily jobs.
Okay, this part is about how to slow the internet addiction. The first method is people need self-control to keep away from the internet. After that, people need to set your computer usage boundaries early. For example, people can make a timetable to limit us how often we can use the internet. The third point is people need to get your family and friend together. It can reduce time of using internet. The last method is people need to use alternative activity to replace of internet activities such as playing sport and watch movies.
So in summary, having analysed all the evidence, internet usage is at an all-time high, but and it's increasing every single year. But we do live in a digital age, and internet is the information hub of the world. Everyone uses the internet when they get stuck on a question, or at work, or at home. But at the same time, internet addiction leads to mental health issues like depression and anxiety. It leads to social problems, but also financial difficulties in terms of gambling and online shopping. But in most cases, people who have internet addiction have a preconceived disorder, and because of that, it means that they have an addictive personality, which makes them more prone to having internet addiction. Thank you for listening.
Thank you for listening.